my informative speech. Roommates can be a whole new experience. This is the first time you're going to be living with a complete stranger. This can go two separate ways. You could be living with your best friend, somebody you get along with, somebody who has the same interests as you, somebody you think you could be friends with down the line. Or you could be living with the roommate from hell, somebody who doesn't get you, who doesn't get your interests, and frankly, you don't really know why you guys are in the same room together. The Huffington Post came out with an article saying that 79% of college students are worried about their first-year freshman roommate and if they'll get along together. Today, I'm here to tell you about the do's and don'ts of college roommates. My hope today is to inform you about some good tips that you and your college roommate can use for a happy relationship in your room. The first tip I can give you that will kind of get you guys acquainted together and get you guys to get to know each other is getting meals together. An article by Kay Smizer, who wrote an article called Roommates Do's and Don'ts, says one of the best ways to get to know your roommate is to just go eat in the cafeteria with others from your floor. If you are a quiet person or things are just awkward, bring a friend. With other students means less pressure to talk all the time. This is a great way to get to start to know your roommate, to really open up to them. It's a great way to just bond, and if you feel awkward or if you feel like your roommate feels a little awkward, bring a friend. The more friends, the merrier. And plus, it'll lighten up the mood. Another key important tip to have when you're having a roommate is communication. Talking about personal habits, pet peeves, and just anything you feel you need to be vocal about. My freshman year, I lived in a triplet, so I lived with two other people. I didn't know my roommates, and so when we first came into it, everything was okay. A few weeks into it, we realized that one of our roommates was a complete clean freak, and that she wanted everything clean all the time, no matter what time of the day it was. This led to a lot of tension in the room, unnecessary fighting, and basically a lot of bickering between us, until one day we really sat down and hashed out everything. A quote by Karen Langley, who wrote a scholarly article titled How to Avoid Roommate Disaster, says, "Everyone has a story and a past. Sometimes issues run deeper than they seem. When I took a time to listen to a roommate's difficult family situation, my sympathy and patience for her increased greatly." Talking leads to bonding. If you open up to your roommate about things that you personally don't like, or things that maybe you feel that they're doing that you don't really care for, be open to them. It'll only make your relationship stronger with each other. Third thing I want to talk about, which is kind of obvious but should still be addressed, is not taking your roommates' things without their permission. This is a big no and a complete invasion of personal property. This stranger is trusting you with their things. Don't go through their things because you wouldn't want the same thing done to you. For example, if you have a soccer game with you and your floor mates and you realize that the field is kind of wet and you don't want to get your running shoes dirty, but you see that your roommate has dirty cleats, don't take their dirty cleats because they're dirty and they won't mind, or you think they won't mind. If you really want to use their things, ask them for their permission. They'll be more grateful that you asked them, and if they do say no, respect their decision. Kelsey Lynn Lucer wrote, "For all you know, you just stepped over an uncrossable line. Don't borrow, use, or take anything without getting permission first." Lastly, and most importantly, another key to a successful relationship with your roommate is prayer. Me and my freshman roommates are still best friends to this day, but we all live in separate states, but we happen to still be able to still pray for each other and still talk to each other all the time. A quote by Judy Mosman, who wrote Campus Life Christian College Guides, All Studies No Fun, says, "Give all your concerns to God and trust Him to make everything come together. His word tells you not to be anxious, but in everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." My mom used to always pray and tell me that she's praying for me to have good roommates so that my roommates wouldn't be crazy or like psycho, like all those stories that she's heard. And it turned out that my roommates' parents have been praying for the same thing. Prayer is serious, and me and my roommates took it very seriously because we knew the power of God could move anything. We live in a Christian environment. We live in a Christian home. If you feel like you need prayer, if you feel like you're just not feeling the presence of God, ask your roommate, ask your hall director, ask anybody to go pray for you. I'm sure they'll be willing to. Communication, prayer, getting meals together, and respecting other things leads to good relationship and a healthy relationship in college life. Today, I informed you about the do's and don'ts of college roommates. My hope and goal is that you take these tips and use them in your life today. A quote by Washington College in Chesterton, Maryland, really spoke to me, and it says, "Whether you like your roommate or not, treat him or her with consideration that you like to be treated with. Set an example with any of your luck, your roommate will catch on." Thank you.